Hi, I'm Kelsey for Cars.com here at the 2014 North American International Auto Show in Detroit with a car that we called our new car of the year all the way back in 2009. This is the redesigned second generation Hyundai Genesis sedan, a car that Hyundai promises will go head-to-head against top-tier European sedans. Let's see how it stacks up. This is the second generation of Hyundai's fluidic sculpture design. We saw the first gen of that kind of come out in cars like the Sonata sedan, the Tucson SUV. Definitely a lower, wider grille, more assertive looking on the new Genesis. The area below the grille, kind of a broad section there, reminds us a little bit of the 2009 to 2012 BMW 7 Series. Speaking of which, dimensions on the Genesis remain roughly unchanged, which stack it up roughly between the size of a BMW 5 Series and a BMW 7 Series. Now, wheelbase up about 3 inches overall, which should help ride quality. So should a new multi-link rear suspension. Hyundai officials have told us before that some Genesis customers thought that the Genesis rode a little bit too firm. Notice this belt line, it runs very flat here. It doesn't rise gently like the last Genesis sedan's belt line did. That should improve sight lines from the inside. The roofline plays a little bit against that though. It's kind of descending as you go back, kind of limits your view out the 6 o'clock view, especially with the rear window, which is wide enough, but a little bit on the short side. Materials in the cabin, definitely good, very consistent all the way down to leg and foot level, even along here along the center tunnel where your knees might knock up against it. It's a padded area here. Not wild about these door handles, which seem a little bit plasticky to us. Again, this is an auto show car. Everything's kind of subject to change when it actually hits production. 8 or 9.2 inch center screen here versus a 7 or 8 inch screen in the last Genesis, depending on the multimedia package, all the way up to 9.2 inches. Various multimedia infotainment features, things like streaming, Bluetooth audio, in-car Wi-Fi, Apple Siri support, plenty of apps. Lots to check out there. Let's take a look at the back seat. Kind of hard to get a read on backseat space because the car here at the auto show is completely depowered, which means the power front seats don't work. If I was sitting there to drive, I'd probably have the seat a few inches forward of where it is right now, but even as it stands, you can see pretty good room back here. I've got lots of leg room left over, pretty good headroom overhead. The seat could sit an inch or two higher off the ground for better adult thigh support, but not bad in the back seat, which was a hallmark of the prior Genesis sedan, still remains here. Trunk volume, 15.3 cubic feet versus the outgoing Genesis sedan's 15.9 cubic feet. There's a new feature, Hyundai says, called Smart Trunk. Basically, that means you keep your key fob in the pocket and you stand next to a sensor on the rear of the car for more than 3 seconds. The trunk opens on its own, so you don't have to worry about fishing it out if you've got a lot of groceries in your hands. Now, it could be really annoying if you hang out behind your car often, because it'll just open on its own. Hyundai does say that you can disable that feature if you really want, and there will be flashing lights and audible warnings anyway. Drivetrains should be familiar to any recent Genesis sedan owners. There's a 3.8 liter V6 or a 5 liter V8, both pair with an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is the first Genesis sedan that will offer all-wheel drive in the US though. Hyundai says that's going to be available with either drivetrain. Thanks to the original Genesis sedan and to some extent the pricier Equus, Hyundai has shown that it has legitimate luxury car-making chops, doesn't face quite the uphill consumer perception battle that it did when the first Genesis came out in late 2008. No word yet on a Genesis coupe, but former Hyundai USA CEO John Krafcik has already tweeted about it, and so we expect one to be on its way. Stay tuned for more details closer to the Genesis sedans on sale date this spring.